What's up everyone, excited to give this video today about SoundHound AI. In this video, I will be going over the chart and giving a price prediction on shares. I'll also go into the financials of the company, and then I'll compare those financials to the peers, and then I will go over some analyst ratings for the stock. So with that being said, let's dive right in. So in late June of last month, obviously, we had the Russell 2000 include SoundHound AI, and for those that don't know, the Russell 2000 is an index which has a lot of small cap stocks in that index, and it's really very important for the stock because once a stock is included in one of these indexes, there's a massive amount of buying at the Russell for the stock, and obviously that positively affected the company in late June. And this is very important in today's day and age because there's been an increase over the past 20 years or so in passive investing. And for those that don't know, passive investing is basically just following an index and mirroring its return. So there's a massive amount of funds out there, large institutions out there that just literally buy exactly what the Russell 2000 is buying. So the fact that this company was included in that major small cap index, well, it's a massive tailwind for shares over the coming years really to come. I really can't understate how important it was for the company to get included in that Russell 2000. It's really a great milestone and a huge stepping stone for the company, in my opinion. So definitely think that will show some dividends here over the coming years for the stock. But with that being said, let's dive into shares and give a price prediction based on technical analysis. First off, this is not financial advice, so do your own research. But we can see here that the stock trades over every daily moving average besides its 50-day moving average. And back on May 24th, we had the 50-day moving average cross above the 200-day moving average, which for those that don't know is a golden cross and signifies bullish momentum. This signal here is probably the most watched and followed daily moving average signal. So to have it kind of signal buy on SoundHound AI is a great thing, and obviously it led to a significant amount of upside. And we've obviously pulled back from this 508 level, which is where shares had topped out in February of this year. It's also where shares had topped out in June of last year. And I had drawn this line even before we actually came up to almost the exact penny and moved lower. So I've done a pretty decent job of calling the technicals on this one over the past couple months. So I'm gonna attempt to do that here again. So we have some support around this $2.70 level, and this is where shares had consistently bottomed out in August, September, and June and July of last year. So this has been a significant level of support in the past for the stock. I don't see why it wouldn't react as a significant level of support once it's tested again. We pretty much used it as support as well in early June. I believe we come down to this level and hold it once again. So that's kind of my prediction for shares in the short term. And in terms of the bounce we get off of this support level, really we could see a move back up to $4 or $4.50. I would really say it'd make more sense for us to see a quick move up to $4, and then if we're able to move over that level, we could see a continuation higher. But like I said, that Russell 2000 inclusion could act as a major driver for shares over the coming months. So definitely do believe in this stock, and I think the bottom is close to in for this next kind of cycle, if you will, for the stock and for AI stocks in general. So I think we likely hold this $2.70 level, which is where the 50-day moving, the 150-day moving average sits, and is about where the 200-day moving average sits. So I think this $2.70 level, $2.80, that this kind of buying zone is a pretty good spot to pick up some shares and play the upside for the stock. So with that being said, I will keep it moving here. I think the chart kind of holds over the next couple weeks, and we see a move higher for SoundHound AI. With that being said, let's keep it moving. Let's take a look at the company's financials. So obviously the company doesn't make any money right now, so there's not much I can kind of glean from this valuation screen here. But we do see a price to sales ratio of 15 times, and that is well above the sector median of 2.9. So not much to take away, as I said, because the company is so new and isn't making money right now. But when we do take a look at revenue growth numbers, we can see that revenue grew 54% over the past 12 months, which is definitely a good sign for shares. Anytime you have a company that isn't making money, you always want to see that the company is at least growing its revenue at a decent clip, so we can rationalize those high valuations, right? The only reason an investor would pay up for a company that isn't making money is for the future prospect of the company, growing its revenue to obviously turn profitability and turn a profit for investors. So we're definitely seeing that upside potential, that growth potential for the company demonstrated in this 54% year-over-year growth for shares. Year-over-year revenue growth for shares, I should say. With that being said, let's take a look at some of the profitability numbers for SoundHound AI. So just like growth, you always want to see a company be able to turn a profit, and this company is able to turn a profit. So we can see that the gross profit margin is 70%. So basically, anytime they're selling something, they're making 70%. Obviously, this company does kind of helps the communication between AI and humans. It kind of bridges that gap. That's what the company does. So every time they sell a service, they're able to make 70% on what they sell. So this gross profit margin is super healthy and definitely demonstrates that if the company is able to continue to grow its revenue, to grow its sales, well, what they're selling is a profitable service. So definitely good to see that there. I've looked into some companies where their gross profit margin is negative and they also don't make money. That's kind of a scary situation, right? When you don't make money on what you sell and you aren't selling much either, right? So SoundHound AI is making money on what it sells. It just needs to sell more. It needs more volume to actually become profitable. So I'm hoping that definitely takes place for the company. And then we also have 22 cents of cash on hand for the company, which isn't a great number, but I'll dive into the balance sheet in a second here, and we can kind of tell if this company is in a spot where they can fund their future operations. With that being said, let's take a look at the price performance for shares over the past 12 months. So when you look at the general AI sector here, obviously C3 AI has been kind of the leader, and then we have CX AI also, doing pretty well. This is a profitable company, one of the rare ones within the AI space. And then GuardForce AI is basically in line with SoundHound AI in terms of performance over the past 12 months. So SoundHound AI definitely has been lagging the general AI sector, although it's had a pretty decent 3 months here and a pretty good 6 months as well. But just over the past 12 months, it hasn't done great relative to peers. With that being said, let's take a look at how the valuation stacks up to peers. So Big Bear AI, obviously not making any money, or no projections to make money. And then we can see, though, for SoundHound AI, they're projected to be at a negative 22 times PE in year 3, which honestly is really, 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 really bad. So hoping that this number turns around for the company, because I do think they sell a pretty cool service. But before I kind of consider this company a long-term hold, I would want to see some more clarity, on this number here. So waiting to get more clarity on valuation before I kind of dive headfirst into shares for the long term. But that's just my personal opinion. With that being said, though, let's take a look at growth numbers. So we see 54% growth year over year, which is awesome and pales in comparison to all peers. So this 54% number is better than all peers, which we absolutely love to see. And the 3-year compounded annual growth rate of 59% is well above the peers as well. So, overall, SoundHound AI definitely stands out from the peers in terms of growth and has significant growth above those peers, right? So that's definitely a good sign for the stock. And to have a major divergence in growth in SoundHound AI's favor is definitely what's kind of rationalizing these higher valuations, right? So investors are paying up for the stock relative to peers, but when you take a look at the growth numbers, you kind of understand why, right? So not shocking there. And then similar to growth, our gross profit margin is the best amongst all peers, which again, we love to see. This gross profit margin shows me what the company makes for everything that it sells. For those that don't know, gross profit is basically just revenue minus cost of goods sold. So this 70% number is better than all peers, which we absolutely love to see. So once we're kind of looking at growth and profitability, we understand why this company is trading at such a high valuation. With that being said, though, let's take a look at the balance sheet. So we can see here that the company has $46 million in cash and $39 million in debt, meaning that the company has $7 million more cash than debt, which is awesome. Anytime you have a company that has more cash than debt, you can at least be somewhat confident that it has the money to fund its future operations, which is very important for companies that aren't making money, the companies that are, burning cash, right? Which is where SoundHound AI is at currently. So that's great to see. And obviously C3 AI has a pretty good balance sheet as well. They have $730 million in cash relative to $39 million in debt. So, they have a net cash position of $770 million, which is awesome. And then Big Bear AI, though, it's a totally different story. For Big Bear AI. So Big Bear AI has $21 million in cash, but almost $200 million in debt. So net, they have $177 million more debt than cash, which, kind of makes their ability to fund future operations somewhat suspect, right? So, good to see that SoundHound AI is definitely, kind of leading the pack in terms of balance sheet health, which we'd love to see. So you add it all up, the company's valuation is a little scary, is a little expensive, but when you look at the growth numbers, when you look at the profitability numbers, it all kind of makes sense. And then you look at the balance sheet's in a pretty good spot as well. So with that being said, I'll take a look at some of the analyst ratings for the stock. So we can see that the highest price target for SoundHound AI is $7, which is a price target given by Wedbush. So they have an outperform rating on the stock. There's only two companies covering the stock, one with a buy, one with an outperform rating. And Cantor Fitzgerald has a $6.20 price target. So the lowest price target is $6.20. Highest price target $7. This tells me that Wall Street thinks that this company should be trading at a higher price than it is right now. In fact, the Wall Street is saying that the stock really needs to double here, which is quite interesting. So Wall Street's bullish. Growth numbers look great. Profitability looks great. I do think we're in a spot on the chart where we could start to bottom as we come down to this, $290, $270, $2.70, buying zone. I think this is probably a spot where shares bottom, reverse, and, start to turn higher over the coming weeks. And like I said, I think that that Russell 2000 inclusion that we got is a really big deal for the company. It hasn't been talked about much, but this will kind of, force some passive firms to put money into the stock that, may have not even had the stock on their radar prior to this Russell 2000 inclusion. So with that being said, that's my opinion on SoundHound AI. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time. If you got some value from this video, please leave a like. We post company breakdowns and important market moving news on this channel on a daily basis, so make sure you are subscribed. If you would like to receive my daily portfolio moves, my exits, my entries, and see how me and my team of analysts are trading the markets, join the Discord through the link in the description below to get our free 7-day trial. Also, if you would like to join our free daily newsletter, sign up to our Substack, which is linked below as well. With that being said, good luck everyone. Happy trading, happy investing.